Hare Krishna. Shall we get started?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, Prabhuji.
Dandavat Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Krishnamurti Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Sindhu Mataji. Hare Krishna. Archana Mataji. If anybody wants to do kirtan, we'll do a short kirtan. Anybody?
I'll do it.
Sure.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Gurudeva, Jai Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Saras Mataji. We'll get started. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuron Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Sajitam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranavami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarobhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome, dear devotees, for this evening class on Srimad Bhagavatam. I think we have taken a bit of a detour in this particular session. I think we're going to start straight off on 10th canto, 9th chapter, 1st and 2nd verse. So we're preparing our consciousness for the month of Damodar, which I think starts on October 28th, I believe, going up to end of November. So we'll prepare a consciousness through this series of Damodar Leela, right, which we'll cover in various days with various speakers, covering different parts of it. So in this session, it will be more like preparing our consciousness, right? So what we'll do is, first is I'll share my screen. And then let me see if I can. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes. What we'll do is, first is we will go through a summary of the chapter 9 of 10th canto, and then we'll go through 1st and 2nd verse. And rest of the time, I would want to talk about how do we prepare our consciousness for the month of Damodar Leela, Damodar month or Kartik month, and what are the things we should do and what are the things we should stay away. So we'll go with that flow. So anyone who wants to read a summary of the Damodar Leela, it's not something that we have not heard before, but let's go through it and then we'll start to prepare our consciousness accordingly. Anybody wants to take lead in terms of reading the passage? So this is summary, and then we'll go through the specific verses. Anyone? Or you can take turns to read para by para, and then.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Krishna, please go ahead. Okay. I heard Prabhuji first. Mataji, can you go just after Prabhuji? Will that be fine? Sindhu Mataji?
If Mother
Yes, Prabhuji, sure.
read,
Yes,
let
okay.
Mataji
Yeah.
read, Prabhuji. I will.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody can go first. Please go ahead.
Mataji, are you reading?
Yes, Sindhu Mataji, you want to read?
Yes. Okay, no problem, Prabhuji. I'll read.
Yeah.
Am I audible? Hope I'm audible.
Yes, Mataji, you are.
Okay. Mother Yashoda binds Lord Krishna. I'll read 2 paragraphs, Prabhuji, or what do you say?
Yeah. So there are only 2 paras. Okay, that's fine. You read the 2 paras. Prabhuji can read text 1 and 2 verses. Okay, go ahead, Mataji.
Sure. When Mother Yashoda was allowing Krishna.
Somebody has to go on mute.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's. Hare Krishna. I think it's Chitra. I'm muting Chitra Mataji for a moment. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Very good. When Mother Yashoda was allowing Krishna to drink her breast milk, she was forced to stop because she saw the milk pan boiling over on the oven. The maid servants being engaged in other business, she stopped allowing Krishna to drink from her breast and immediately attended to the overflowing milk pan. Krishna became very angry because of his mother's behavior and devised a means of breaking the pots of yogurt. Because he created this disturbance, Mother Yashoda decided to bind him. These incidents are described in this chapter. One day, the maid servants being engaged in other work, Mother Yashoda was churning the yogurt into butter herself, and in the meantime, Krishna came and requested her to allow him to suck her breast milk. Of course, Mother Yashoda immediately allowed him to do so, but then she saw that the hot milk on the oven was boiling over, and therefore she immediately stopped allowing Krishna to drink the milk of her breast and went to stop the milk on the oven from overflowing. Krishna, however, having been interrupted in his business of sucking the breast, was very angry. He took a piece of stone, broke the churning pot, and entered a room where he began to eat the freshly churned butter. Mother Yashoda, after attending to the overflowing milk, returned and saw the pot broken. She could understand that this was a work of Krishna, and therefore she went to search for him. When she entered the room, she saw Krishna standing on the ulukala, a large mortar for grinding spices. Having turned the mortar upside down, he was stealing butter hanging from a swing and was distributing the butter to the monkeys. As soon as Krishna saw his mother had come, he immediately began to run away, and Mother Yashoda began to follow him. After going some distance, Mother Yashoda was able to catch Krishna, who, because of his offense, was crying. Mother Yashoda, of course, threatened to punish Krishna if he acted that way again, and she decided to bind him with rope. Unfortunately, when the time came to knot the rope with which she wanted to bind him was short by a distance equal to width of 2 fingers. When she made the rope longer by adding another rope, she again saw that it was short by 2 fingers. Again and again she tried, and again she found the rope was too short by 2 fingers. Thus she became very tired, and Krishna, seeing his affectionate mother so tired, allowed himself to be bound. Now, being compassionate, he did not show her his unlimited potency. After Mother Yashoda bound Krishna and became engaged in other household affairs, Krishna observed two Yamala Arjuna trees, which were actually Nalakuvera and Manikriva, two sons of Kuvera who had been condemned by Narad Muni to become trees. Krishna, by his mercy, now began to proceed towards the trees to fulfill the desire of Narada Muni. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, Krishnamurti Prabhu. I'll read the shloka and then you can read the translation. Shri Shuka Uvacha Ekada Griha Dasisu Yashoda Nandagehinai Karmantara Viyuktasu Nirman Manta Swayam Dadi Yani Yaniha Gitani Tadpada Charitani Cha Dadi Nirman Tane Kale Smaranti Tani Agayata. Yes. Prabhuji, you can.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Yeah, yes, Mataji. Yeah, what we could do, Krishnamurti Prabhu had actually raised his hand. So
Okay,
let
okay,
him
no
complete the translation and the first verse, and Mataji, you can read the second verse. Is that okay, Mataji?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued. One day when Mother Yashoda saw that all the maid servants were engaged in other household affairs, she personally began to churn the yogurt. While churning, she remembered the childish activities of Krishna, and in her own way, she composed songs and enjoyed singing to herself about all those activities. Shall I read purport, Prabhuji?
Yes, the first passage, a paragraph, and Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji. Purport by Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura, quoting from the Vaishnava Toshani of Srila Sanatana Goswami says that the incident of Krishna's breaking the pot of yogurt and being bound by Mother Yashoda took place on the Deepavali day or Deepa Malika. Even today in India, this festival is generally celebrated very gorgeously in the month of Kartika by fireworks and lights. Especially in Bombay, it is to be understood that among all the cows of Nanda Maharaja, several of Mother Yashoda's cows ate only grasses so flavorful that the grasses would automatically flavor the milk. Mother Yashoda wanted to collect the milk from these cows, make into yogurt and churn into the butter personally. Since she thought that this child Krishna was going to the houses of neighborhood Gopas and Gopis to steal butter because he did not like the milk and yogurt ordinarily prepared. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Krishna. Mataji, please, Sudha Mataji, please go
Yes,
ahead.
Mataji. Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Purport by Prabhupada Prabhupada ki jai. While churning the butter, Mother Yashoda was singing about the childhood activities of Krishna. It was commonly a custom that if one wanted to remember something constantly, he would transform it into poetry or have this done by a professional poet. It appears that Mother Yashoda did not want to forget Krishna's activities at any time. Therefore, she poeticized all of Krishna's childhood activities, such as the killing of Putana, Ahasura, Shaktasura, and Pranavat. And while churning the butter, she sang about these activities in poetical form. This should be the practice of persons eager to remain Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. This incident shows how Krishna conscious Mother Yashoda was. To stay in Krishna consciousness, we should follow such persons. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So we'll probably, the passage for discussion and the shloka and the verse is very clear. So what I will do is maybe we'll take some time to reflect on this Kartik month or Damodar month itself, and how do we prepare our consciousness, right? And we'll go from there. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that if we pay obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even the impossible becomes possible, right? And if we don't, even the possible becomes impossible. So that is the merit, or that's the highlight of paying obeisances to Mahaprabhu, because what we are going to do is in the next few days enter into Damodar Leela, and therefore also take a pledge, a vow on how we're going to spend this month. And we'll discuss that shortly in this discussion. And we'll take Mahaprabhu's blessings to dive deeper into this. Right? So Kartik Vrant basically begins, I think we'll probably start taking this Vrat from October 28th, and we'll go on till November end. And this is a time completely dedicated to spiritual activities. We'll try to cut off as much as possible from, some material activities which may not be compelling enough. Somebody's in emergency, of course, something of those sorts we should definitely attend. But anything that is any decisions that can be postponed to the next month beyond the time span that I mentioned, we should attempt to do that, because we want to wholeheartedly focus our energy, our time, our consciousness in complete dedication of the service of Radha and Krishna. Okay. So that's what we want to get as an outcome. Now, basically, it's like what happens is as is nothing.
And then you go to bank for bank. Locker. அதுக்கு ஒரு போட்டோ
கொடுத்துறோம். Sorry, I'll just mute Chitra Mataji for a moment. Sorry. Yeah. So basically, like a father, when he goes to a beach with the son, and father is looking at the beach and the horizon, sun horizon. Son is building, those sand castles. So eventually, the sand castles will be blown away by the waves of time, right? And therefore, all the material activities that we do are those like those sand castles, where it's not something that will give us merit in the next birth, or if we take a new birth. But all the spiritual activities, anything that we do in Krishna consciousness, as we have heard repeatedly time and time again, will continue. Those practices, those sukriti, those we can start from where we last left. So this is something that will persist. Now, coming to the whole 12 months, right? We typically, the English names for these are January, February, March, April, May, June, July, going up to December. And most of these months are bit arbitrarily named. Either it's based on Julius Caesar, July comes from his name, and January comes from, there is something called Janus. Somebody who says something and does something. So they're not very coherent, not very cogent. However, if you are able to think of these 12 months from the names of Lord Vishnu, which is Keshava, Narayana, Madhava, Govinda, Vishnu, Madhusudana, Trivikrama, Vamana, Sridhara, Rishikesha, Padmanabha, Damodara. Right? So Damodara is the month, Damodar month we call it. So these 12 months are based on the different forms of Vishnu that manifest, like Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So think of all the combinations. When they rotate in a cyclic order, you'll get different forms of Vishnu, and therefore you'll get these 12 months. Right? So our consciousness of looking at these 12 months is this manner, where we meditate on the forms of Lord Vishnu. So since Damodar is one of the names of Vishnu, the name of this month is also Damodar month or Kartik month. Now, why do we have the name Kartik month, right? So Kartik, basically Kartik month, essentially the Adishta Dev, the Adishta Devi for this month is Radharani. Now, how is that? Radharani's mother is known as Kirtida. Kirtida can also be, called as Kirtika, right? And anything that we add the name Ka means soft-hearted. For example, Radha, when we call Radhika, the soft-hearted Radharani, right? We also call, a mother is called Amba, but when we add the name Ka, it becomes Ambika. Ambika means, the soft-hearted mother. Right? So similarly, the word Ka comes. Now, Kirtika's daughter is called Kartika, which is Radharani. So she's the Adishta Devi for this month. So therefore, it's called Kartik month or Kartik Mas. There is also another name which is called Urjavata. Basically, Urja. Urja means something like, it gives you a boost of energy, right? So in this month, Srila Rupa Goswami says that we need to completely renew our spiritual practices so that we have we prepare ourselves in such a way that in this month, if we perform all the spiritual practices, we can directly get our spot in Goloka Vrindavan. And Krishna has promised that anybody who performs the Vrat of Kartik will find his place in Goloka Vrindavan. And Radharani, interestingly, is also called Urjeshwari. The reason why she's called Urjeshwari is because Krishna is Shaktiman and Krishna's Shakti is Radharani, right? The energy of Lord. So Urjeshwari means the energy of the Lord, the one who possesses the energy of the Lord. So therefore, Radharani is also called Urjeshwari. By following all these, the do's that we will discuss in this month, if we follow that sincerely and we do our best, I'll also make a sincere endeavor and in this month to make sure that we do as much as possible to please Radha and Krishna in such a way that we are able to bound Krishna in our wooden-hearted mortar, right? That we are able to bound him in our, just the way Krishna got bound in that wooden mortar by Yashoda Mai, right? Similarly, we will try to, our heart is like wooden-hearted, at least my heart is. So we'll try to follow that, right? So that we are able to bind Krishna in our hearts. So there is a very interesting shloka which is mentioned out here, which will help us meditate appropriately. I'll just read the shloka. Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tad Dhama Shri Vrindavanam Ramya Kachit Upasana Prajavadu Vargena Va Kalpita. So the next is glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll just try to read out. The personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, who's known as the son of King of Rajadama, that is Sri Nanda Maharaj, is the ultimate worshipful Lord of all lords. And therefore, he is our object of worship. His residential abode, namely the holy place of Vrindavan, is as much as worshipful as Lord is himself. Right? This way of his worship may be various, but the one which can be conceived by the circle of the damsels of Rajadam is unsurpassable by any other devotee. We'll come to the glorification of Bhagavatam later. But essentially, Lord's name, form, his dham are all non-different. So Krishna is our object of worship. And therefore, we also, if anybody gets this great opportunity of going to Vrajadam in this month, which is October 20th onwards, they should consider themselves very lucky, because that's a time where anything that we do is amplified in this month. Any chanting, any spiritual activity, it will have a, like in credit card, there are shopping days, you swipe your card and, your points are doubled. So similarly, you can consider something on those lines. Of course, the example that I gave is very material. So, essentially, in Hari Bhakti Vilas, Srila Sanatan Goswami has mentioned that in this month, if you do anything sincerely, that will help us please Krishna, and therefore essentially make us eligible for Goloka Vrindavan. And we can be very sure that if we are able to please Krishna, Krishna's words are true, and therefore his dham, which is Goloka Vrindavan, our entry can be achieved. Right? Now, with this preamble, let's talk about certain things that we would want to do in this month, and discuss that, and let's take a pledge that we'll try to be as much true as possible. Let's be also practical on what's possible, what's not, but let's try to do a little bit of stretch, because what I have seen is that when we stretch ourselves, right, there is this sudden burst of energy you get out of nowhere, which will help us accomplish this goal. And anything that is Krishna conscious, as long as our desires are sincere, there is an empowerment from Krishna and his devotees to give us that strength, give us that courage, give us that energy to make it happen. So as part of some of the rules that we'll discuss, let's, first of all, the first thing is that we need to be attached to the forms of Radha Krishna in our heart. We need to be always remembering their forms as much as possible in this month. And there is a very nice verse. I'm just going to pull that out. Let's see. It is from Nectar of Instructions. Upadeshamrita. Let's see. Right. So if you look at the text one, Vacho vegam manasakrodha vegam jivva vegam udarapasta vegam etan vegan yo visaheta dhiraha sarvam apimam prithubim sashishyat. Now, this is very important rule for this particular Kartik month. And Srila Rupa Goswami very nicely summarizes this in the next Nectar of Instructions. So he says, Vacho Vegam. Vacho Vegam is the toleration to control the urgency to speak. Now, speaking here doesn't mean that one stops the speaking about the glorification of Krishna. No, it's about gossip, right? Trying to speak about things like, hey, what happened to that film star? What happened to the cricketer? What happened to some of the shows in Netflix or WhatsApp or any other chats that happening? Trying to take away from our focus from there, and then trying to talk about Krishna. At least in this month, we are completely trying to detach ourselves and keep ourselves focused on Krishna Bhakti, on the forms of Krishna, talk about Krishna, glorify Krishna, chant his names. So that is possible. That is something that is encouraged. But plain gossip, mundane material gossip is something we want to stay away from. Manasa Vegam. Manasa Vegam is basically the urges of the mind's demands. The mind will always demand. There is always this shopping list we have. So there are things we want to buy. See if it can be deferred. See if it, because anything that you do in terms of such activities will take up your time in this month, which will go wasted in terms of not being able to spend that time in Krishna service. So see if you can postpone some of your material decisions to the next month so that you can make more time to spend the time with Krishna. Right? Krodha Vega. Krodha Vega is like anger, a lot of quarrels that happen, a lot of debates that happen, a lot of point of views we keep, right? Is that something that necessarily needs to happen that month? Can we park those debates? Can we park some of those political discussions on politics, who will win, who will lose, to the next month? Can we just postpone those decisions, right? It is about that. Then Udarapestha Vegam is basically control of genitals. Essentially, it's trying to stay away from activities which could mean union with other gender. Trying to essentially spend the time and our energy in Lord's service. So the intent of all this is not to become a Jagat Guru and collect disciples or make disciples all over the world. But the intent is for our own purification, so that we can take one big step towards Krishna consciousness. Right? And since this month is so auspicious, Krishna is going to be delighted that we are able to make those small sacrifices in pleasing him. Right? So this is very important. This is the first thing we would want to do. Then take bath early in the morning, preferably in Brahma Muhurta time. So there is these two sankalpa we can do. Kartike aham karishyami pratasnanam janardana priti artham tava devesha damodara maya saho. So during this month of Kartika, I shall bath early every morning for your satisfaction. Whose satisfaction? Janardana's, that's it. Damodara's satisfaction. Essentially the Supreme Lord's satisfaction. And there is a Prarthana mantra also we should, just the day Kartik Mantha approaches, these are the two mantras we want to recite. It's like Sankalpa, right? We are trying to pledge before the Supreme Lord. The other one is Prarthana mantra, Tava Dhyanena Devesha Jalesmins Natum Udyatah Tvat Prasadach Chame Papam Damodara Vineshyatu. I am about to bathe in this water, absorbed in meditation on you, O Damodara. May my sins be destroyed through your mercy. So these are the two mantras we want to be reciting just on the day of Kartik month, right, or Damodara month. So this is the second thing. Then we want to, at least for these 30 days, these are the niyam sevas. That is something that we have to do on a routine basis. So first is, after we have taken the sankalpa and the prarthana we have done, we essentially try to wake up in a Brahma Muhurta time. Typically, it is 4:30 in the morning. I know what I'm going to talk about may sound very arduous, very tough. But I think I've seen that human mind is magical. And if you put your heart and soul into something, you'll find that the mind collaborates, it cooperates, right? For example, let's say you have to wake up, you had a very long day and you wind up by, let's say, 12 in the midnight. And let's say you have a flight to catch at 3:30 in the morning. No matter whether we like it or not, we will wake up at 2:30, we'll get ready, we'll ensure that we don't miss the flight, right? So this is irrespective of what happened in the previous evening. So when we can do that for some material activities, as which I'm not decrying, I'm saying that's absolutely necessary, you have to catch the flight. But when we can do that for such things, then why can't we do it for Krishna, right? So we do wake up in Brahma Muhurta, take bath, do Mangala Arti. At least if you don't do a full Arti, at least we should do Gandha Pushpa, Dhupa Deepa, Nevedya. So Nevedya can mean, everything else is, Gandha means incense sticks. Dhupa, Pushpa is flowers. Dhupa is Dhupam that we show, right? And Deep, a lamp basically. And finally, Nevedya. Nevedya would mean, you can perform, you can cook nice sweets for Krishna. It can be offered morning and evening both, right? So people who haven't started to chant rounds, if they can attempt to start 16 rounds of chanting, that would be amazing, right? Where you sit nicely, sit in a good posture, take up a secluded spot, and start to focus on Krishna. Keep your eyes closed or open. I don't, I leave it to the individual, because sometimes people keep their eyes closed, and sometimes, the Nidra Devi gets the better of us, and, we may go and sleep. So instead of that, you can even keep your eyes open. But whatever works best for you, do that. And chant Krishna's holy names, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, nicely on the beats, so that you are able to focus on Krishna's form, name. You're able to hear your mantra nicely, and you very, without rushing or without being extremely slow, going at the right speed, finish your 16 rounds as much as possible. Try it out. I mean, this is something which will really please Krishna. Then performing Nama Sankirtan. Sankirtan is basically that what I talked about was japa. Sankirtan is always performed in a with musicality, with a group of devotees when they are together, kind of singing the holy names of the Lord. So, then the instruments come in, right? Like Mridanga, Kartal, harmonium, etc. Flute also if possible. So that is something, if you find the right congregation, you find the right association, please take advantage of that. Then playing some songs of Krishna, right? Something that all of them authored by our dear Srila Rupa Goswami. So one is Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. All of this, I'll mention the names of the songs. All of them will be available on KK Songs. That's a website. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, that's one. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite, that's another one. Namani Nandana Nandana, so that's another nice bhajan from Srila Rupa Goswami. Radha Kripa Ashtakam, so that's another one we can hear. Damodara Ashtakam, of course, which comes from Satyavrata Muni. It's a beautiful prayers on Krishna's Damodar Leela. One can not just attempt to read out, because many of us may be new to the shlokas itself, but if we can glance over the translation of each of these shlokas. First of all, these shlokas are pretty easy to remember. If we do that every day, 30 days, and we are able to meditate on the translation, I can guarantee that after the end of the 30 days, you'll be able to recite this by yourself, right? You wouldn't need any aid. Then Gopi Geet, many people, many temples play Gopi Geet from Jayadev Goswami, right? So that's part of Bhagavatam, 10th canto. So that's something which is very beautiful to hear. All of this is available on KKA Songs. So So for the benefit of devotees, don't worry, I will kind of get this sent across to you. So that's one. Then perform Tulasi Seva. Right? So what that means is, first of all, circumambulating Tulasi. There's a prayer for Tulasi. While you're picking Tulasi also, you have to say Tulasi Amrita Janmasi Sadatva Keshava Priya Keshavartam Chinomitvam Vartabhavana Shobhane. So there's a prayer when you're plucking Tulsi leaf also that can be recited. Then circumambulating Tulsi, there's a Tulasi prayer that we can say. Then we can also water Tulsi. Of course, Tulsi leaves can be used in offering prasadam. So that's the Tulasi Seva. Then all the festivals in this month should be celebrated. That definitely Diwali is a bigger one which comes in. But there'll be appearance day, disappearance day of Acharyas. There could be Govardhan, the day Krishna lifted the Govardhan mountain. Basically that day should be celebrated. Typically comes third day after Diwali. Govardhan Puja we call it. Then any festivals should be celebrated properly in this month. And then Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Amala Puranam, the spotless Purana. We should make an attempt. If we can't read, hear Srimad Bhagavatam from qualified speakers. You'll find a lot of good ISKCON speakers in ISKCON on YouTube. Amarendra Prabhu is my favorite, but all of us may have their own favorites. Read here. There's also if you can distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, there are people who may not be able to afford. If you're able to sponsor Srimad Bhagavatam for them in this month of Kartik, nothing can be holier than that, right? Anybody who's deserving, whom you think has the spiritual inclination, and if anybody can sponsor Srimad Bhagavatam for them, nothing like it. So there are many prayers in glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. The one which comes to my mind, which is beautiful prayer that comes in the first canto, right? Nigama kalpataro galitam phalam sukhamukhat amritam tarva samyuktam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhurahor rasikaha bhuvi bhavukaha. Right? O sage, taste this beautiful fruit, the mature fruit coming from the desire tree of Vedic scriptures, right? And this has been Bhagavatam has emanated from the lips of Srila Sukadev Goswami, and it's like parrot pecking on a tasteful of juicy mango, right? The taste of mango gets enhanced. Similarly, when Sukadev Goswami has recited Srimad Bhagavatam, its taste is amplified, right? And this fruit is already relishable to all the devotees and also liberated souls, people who are looking for Brahmajyoti liberation. Even to them, Bhagavatam is so relishable. So let's completely immerse ourselves in reading Srimad Bhagavatam, which is non-different from Krishna. Krishna's literary form is Bhagavatam, so absolutely non-different from the Lord. So we associate with Lord through Srimad Bhagavatam. And we do Anga and Sangha Shuddhi. Now, what is Anga? Anga Shuddhi we already talked about. Taking bath early in the morning, that is Anga Shuddhi. Sangha Shuddhi is trying to not over-socialize. When I use the word over-socialize, some aspects may be necessary socialism to be in the social etiquette. But, we try to associate more and more with devotees. So, for example, if there is a hot substance, if it is kept in close contact with a cold substance, the temperature of hot substance will reduce and the cold substance may get warmed up, the hot substance may lose its heat, and finally they come in an equilibrium. So that's exactly what will happen if we associate with people who are very casual about any spiritual practices. But if we associate more with devotees, right, who are very sincere, very driven, they have that Urja Shakti, they want to make every day count. They want to spend time in Krishna consciousness. They are very fiery, right? If we spend time with them, some amount of their influence will definitely come to us as well. So we want to be fiery in this month and not lukewarm, right? So do as much as possible. Again, these are things, which are suggested, for our upliftment of spiritual consciousness. The staying away as much as possible from Facebook, Instagram, doing the necessary on WhatsApp, keep our interactions to the minimum, offering lamps morning and evening. And when we offer lamps, we typically recite Damodara Ashtakam. Then while bathing, there's another practice that is described as if we have some Yamuna gel at home, and once we've finished bathing, if we can take some sprinkle of water and put it on our head, that is like Yamuna Snan, right? And then we basically constantly think about Vrindavan. If we can personally go visit Vrindavan, which is going to be packed in this month, all the lodges, all the dharmasthala, everything will be chock-a-block. But if somebody is lucky enough to get there, nothing like it, right? Because we have to be even if we are not able to travel to Vrindavan, we can carry Vrindavan in our heart by its constant remembrance. Again, Dham of the Lord is not different from Lord himself, right? So if we are able to meditate on Dham of the Lord, we are able to meditate on Krishna himself. And then immersing ourselves in the pastimes of Krishna, like we are going to be hearing Damodar Leela for the next 30 days. So we meditate on the childhood pastimes of Krishna. So if you're able to do all this very sincerely, very methodically, being tolerant of the fact that we may have days when we have not been able to do full justice because of forces beyond our control, but our purpose is sincere, our intent is sincere. If you're able to do all that, it is very likely that we'll be able to bind Krishna in our hearts. Right? So let's take this Kartik month, for those who are experiencing this Kartik month for the first time, make a sincere attempt. It's okay to, try as much as possible. We don't know our own potential till we try it out. So many times, even in our past, in our materialistic endeavor also, something that might have looked daunting, when we started to take, make progress in it, we keep chipping off one small portion after another. We are able to see that we have been able to achieve that target very easily. Like it's sometimes like a small chisel which is given. If there is a sincerity in the purpose of the person who's chiseling a big rock, it's very likely that the rock is going to capitulate and give way for this person, right? So let's be a little focused. Let us be single-minded. We'll have to also fix our lifestyle a bit. We are used to staying up late in the night because the preparation to wake up early in the morning starts from previous night, right? Try to see if we can have early dinner, get some good rest, and then wake up fresh in the morning with a complete immersion in the holy names of the Lord, meditating. In fact, you could also do this if you the moment you wake up in the morning. Sometimes saying Hari 7 times has magical effect in your consciousness, right? Hari, 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 Hari. So that is something people can say, and then start to brush your teeth, take bath, neatly get dressed, and appear before the altar of the Lord, and then perform Mangalarti and all the steps that we covered. So I would say that make an attempt. What I'm saying looks very daunting, but then unless we take up challenges which will truly test us, we don't know what our potential is, right? So see if we can take it as a challenge and look at these 30 days, and let's see, let's do a retrospective. After 30 days, what are your thoughts? What realizations did you get? How did you feel about it? Right? It's only when if we experiment with new things, when we go through new experiences, does our consciousness improve? Does our mind grow? And we will have realizations which you've never seen or heard in the past. So that's all I wanted to cover. So through this medium of preparing our consciousness using the list of steps that I mentioned during the month of Damodar, if we are able to prepare our consciousness well, I think we will have a tremendous, terrific Damodar month, and we will be able to get much closer, at least one step closer to Krishna, and experience his magic in our lives. So that's all I wanted to cover. Any questions, anything that you would want to cover? Yeah, I think I see some chats here.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Prabhuji,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Prabhuji, I used to wake up by 4 o'clock early morning.
Hmm.
I will start my japa session by take only cold water bath regularly.
Hari bol. Okay.
Since so many years I am observing this.
Uh-huh.
So right from by 4:30 I will sit for chanting.
Very nice.
So I won't lamps and all those, no, nothing. Just will sit and go on chanting up to 6:30, around 16 rounds. I will finish up.
Very nice. Very,
So
very
only
happy.
thing is what your kind self has spoken regarding the lighting of the lamps and then dhupa, that is to be, we have to make in practice.
Hmm. That's
Previously,
called,
I used to chant right from 6 to 8. That along with the in this online only. Recently, I came to that. Why won't we start this by in this Brahma Murta itself? So I myself determined to start. So I though nothing obstacles had come to me. Still, right from day one, stay up to today also. No, regularly I used to rise and take bath and I used to sit for chanting. So as per your directions, we have to some procedures to be followed then. So I will do, Prabhuji, I will do. I can.
Yes. I think Mataji has also asked a question. I will send those link, Mataji, to you. I'll have that sent over. Songs, prayers to be sung during Mangalarti. I'll send it to you. Don't worry.
Please send it in the group, Prabhuji. Even
Yes. Which group should I send? Because this group will end after this call. I mean, the chat will end after this call. So, how best can I?
In the group.
Okay.
Maybe
through.
Okay. Scriptural pastimes.
Okay.
Group scriptural pastimes.
So what you wanted is, yeah. I think I'm not part of that group. What I will do is get this sorted through our Mataji. So you wanted Mangalarti prayers, right? What do we sing there? You could also do one thing, Mataji. There are enough YouTube videos which will teach you how to do Mangalarti also. So what is the sequence in which you follow? That's okay. Even if we make mistakes, it's fine. But you'll kind of start to get in the next gear, right? So I will send you the Mangalarti prayers. But for how to do it, like for example, you have to take Achman, you have to basically wipe your hand, and then put a small mat under your feet, and then stand on it and do it. So there are small things like that. It's okay if we forget. Krishna is very forgiving, but it says that we'll endeavor to improve. It's not like we say as human beings that the best part is that we always learn from our mistakes and we don't repeat it. So I'll I'll send you a Mangalarti prayers and a YouTube link so that you can get to know that process. That helps, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Regularly, I'm doing Mangalarti, Prabhu, with Samsara Javanala Narasimha.
That's correct. That's all it is, Mataji.
Extra prayers you told me, Prabhu, that I don't know.
Oh, okay. Fine. So that is, if you go to KK Songs, right? There is a site called KK Songs. Just maybe I'll show it here. So there is a site called KK Songs. So you'll get every song. Like for example, if I search for If I say Radhe Jaya Jaya. Sorry. Let's see. Song lyrics, music page. Song lyrics is there. I'm just trying to see it. Okay. Radhe.
Prabhu, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava
This
is
the
there
one.
in
Yeah.
Vaishnava
So,
song.
yeah. So if you can, so this is the one. So if you click on the site, if you go to some of these songs, you'll be able to play it with music also. They've got some notes also. I'm not qualified to how this works, but you can play this link. It'll teach you how to sing the song. So this you can try. You'll find everything here in Vaishnava Melodies page in the KK songs.
To go to Google, type KK songs and then.
Yeah. That's correct. Mataji. So what
Thank
I
you,
will
sir.
rather do, send the links of the songs directly linked with KK, so that you don't have to. You will not spend any time, losing time in terms of searching the songs itself. So I'll give the links also for these songs. So these are all beautiful songs. Actually, if you hear these songs and read their meaning, you can absorb yourself much better with Krishna's name and pastimes. So yes, so that is one thing. Anything else you would need from health perspective? Okay, you can
We
whatever.
used to offer ghee
Yes.
lamp also, Prabhuji.
Yes.
During the Damodara, we used to offer.
Yes. Typically, when we offer ghee lamps, we recite Damodarashtakam, right? Yes. So Satyavarta from Satyavarta Mandi. So we could do that. That is still, yeah. Mataji has raised her hand. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I just want to know, when I was in the Dham, Tulsi garlands were given to me from the different lordships, from all the temples I went, and I brought it home and dried it. So one of the Matajis said that when I'm doing the ghee lamp, I can wrap the wick around that Tulsi, because normally I use normal Tulsi stems, dried ones that I had, but someone said that I could use those ones to offer. Can I do that? Because I'm thinking that those Tulsi garlands were already offered to the Lords. And now when I'm so one of the Matajis said that I could use those Tulsi stems.
Yes,
I can't.
I mean, I would put it this way, and you can basically make your own judgment. So Amrendra Prabhu is sharing that what happens is, let's say, I'll give an example just as an analogy. So let's say there is a deep somebody is offering to the Lord. Okay, now there's a shortage of deep. Okay, and this devotee, before you see that there's no other deep available after this devotee finishes. So he just kind of shows it to the Lord, and he meditates on every limb of the Lord, and he basically shows the deep and then keeps it. Right? It's absolutely okay for you to start to use that deep if there's a shortage of deep. Right? However, if that devotee has actually touched the deep and put it on his head and kept it like that, that means he has taken the deep, what has come back from the deep as a prasad of the Lord. So it is offered to the Lord and he's consumed that as a prasad. Now you can't do it, right? As long as he's not touched it, you can use the deep. But the moment he's touched it on his head and, kind of as a mark of acceptance, as a prasad of the Lord, then you can't do it. So going back to your question, if it is already offered to the Lord and somebody is partaken with some of the leaves of the tulsi, I think it's probably best not to offer it again, right? Because it's been taken as a prasad now. So, yeah. So I'll agree with you, Mataji.
So Prabhuji, nobody touched it. So somebody would have offered it and
Yes.
they put it around the Lord's neck. And then when I went and I offered a garland, they put that for the Lord and took the tulsi and gave it to me. So nobody it was offered to the Lord and taken from the Lord and given to me.
Okay, but has anyone consumed the leaves?
No.
Did you?
They took
Okay.
it straight out of the Lord's neck and gave it to me. It was not given to anybody. It was taken straight out of
Yeah,
there and
correct.
given me
Okay.
when I offered a garland.
Okay, it may be okay to that, but preferably see if fresh ones are possible, right? If it's
Okay.
not possible, and if you have not consumed the leaves, like sometimes what happens is, okay, the tulsi leaves is available in that mala, so I'll just take it and put it in, food articles that I offer to Bhoga to the Lord, right, which will become prasad. If nobody's consumed those leaves, and nobody's used them in any other way, then it may be okay, provided you have not, provided you don't have any new fresh leaves to use, basically.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Then I won't use it. I might as well just use the fresh stems because we wrap
Preferably.
the wick. Yeah,
Preferably,
we wrap
yes.
the wick around the stem and then we
Right.
light it. So
Yeah,
thank you,
preferably.
Prabhuji. I'll do that.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Mataji. Anything else?
Prabhuji, is there
Yes, who wants to go first? Yes, Mataji. Please
No,
go ahead.
Prabhuji, just a small question. In case today I'm having some 10 to 12 leaves, okay, with me, 50 leaves. So it is, I'm using 2 or 3 and others are dried up. Not fully dried up, but I can use it, right? Because they are still fresh.
Like you've taken it from Tulsi, they are dried. That's absolutely fine, because what happens is, if you kept them separately, right, in a box, and let's say you take 1 or 2 Tulsi and you offer it to the Lord, no problem, absolutely fine.
No, remaining is lying on Lord's feet, so, but it's little on the plate, but little dried up. I offer like bunch of leaves like that. So extra it is always lying there. So I can use it for tomorrow, next day also.
And not from Lord's feet. Preferably, please don't take it from Lord's feet and offer. If it is separate in a box, right? So, if it is separate in a box, you've taken a couple of Tulsi leaves, offered to the Lord. It's there in Lord's lotus feet. That's fine. But that Tulsi you'll have to put aside, right? And take again leaves from the box and then offer it again to the Lord, right? One important thing to note here is that at any point, nobody should consume Tulsi directly from the box, right? Sometimes, if somebody's popped, for example, let's say you're offering a boga and then which becomes prasad after offering. Let's say you have taken a bag of, let's say 6 apples, right? Now you've taken a couple of them because you planned those apples to be offered over a period of time. So you've taken 2 of them, offered it to the Lord. You should consume only from that 2. The rest 4 should be untouched. If anybody's picked up anything from those 4 and consumed it without offering, better not to offer the rest 3. You got my point, right, Mataji? Am I?
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
The remaining dried ones, what we can do is we can put it in the other pot, right? No need to put it in the dustbin. Rather,
No. None of these things should go in a dustbin. Typically, what people do is they preserve it separately. I'm forgetting the name. There's a Sanskrit name for it. Typically, people, if you go in a Ganges or some holy river, right, you can carry it along. You can immerse it there. You can also, if there are Tulsi pots, right, Tulsi pots in your house, you can put it in the soil of Tulsi again. That's okay. So you can do all that. It will organically mix with the soil again.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. We got fruits, Prabhu. I didn't know that, like, we bring some 6-7 apples in the fruit bowl. One I offer it to the Lord today. And maybe my son will take one from the bowl and eat. The rest I should not use the next day.
Yeah, preferably you should not use it, Mataji. because that has now been consumed without offering it to the Lord, right? So as long as, let's say, you want, this is what devotees practice. Let's say you are offering, you intend to offer, some apples to the Lord. Ensure that only those are kept out, right? And it's available for others to consume. Keep away those 4, because if you keep it on dining table, it's very likely that somebody will pick it up and have it. So which is very natural to happen. So keep away those 4, right? And try to work with whatever has been offered. Let's say you anything that you feel anything that you feel that you want to offer again and again to the Lord, you need to keep it separately, right? So that's just one thing. Yes.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Prabhu. I didn't know. So I've been doing like this. So that means it's an aparadh, Prabhu.
Yeah, Mataji, don't worry. I mean, don't penalize yourself or don't feel very guilty. It's as long as we make a sincere attempt, Lord is happy with that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Anything else before we?
Prabhuji, can I ask? So what I want to find out is, where can I find a list of things to do and not do? Like, what can I start doing, and then what can I, like, for example, you have to give something to the brahmanas. You can, I want to see what are all of those things that one can do during the month. And I know you can increase your chanting and stuff like, and then also, what are the don'ts? Where would I find something like that, Prabhuji?
I tried covering it today only, Mataji. Let me see if I can find an article or a blog post on it, right, which I can send across. So I'll make a note of this. So basically, do's and don'ts of Kartik month documented, right? I'll find that out.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. You said few things which is very important we can do, but to physically do, to increase the chanting, I'm not sure what else, and what you can like stop, like not have grains, or have one meal a day, something like that. Just some guidelines, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. So just be aware of your health condition, Mataji. Just be careful on that front also. It's very important. Typically, Kartik month is the last month of Chaturmas. Typically, people, depending on how much you can take in terms of sacrifices, people do different things. Sometimes in a particular month, people will not consume curd or milk items, say, for example. Some people will avoid sesame seeds or mustard oil. Some people will avoid, tur dal, say, for example. So something like that. So what maybe I can find out is food restrictions for Kartik month, right? That's what you're interested in knowing. So I'll try to find that.
And increase in sadhana, like what types of things, like feed the cows, donate to Brahmana.
Yeah. So basically, the thing is that if you are able to distribute Bhagavatam or sponsor Bhagavatam, that is one of the best you can do in this month, right? Of course, if you're already on 16 rounds, see if you can increase it to 25 or more. Definitely something you can. But more importantly, whatever time we are spending with the Lord, we are having a full focus and attention. It so happens that at least with me, it often happens that I'm doing something, but mentally I'm something, I'm switched off, I'm doing something else, right, mentally. So as much as we can bring our mind in the activity, stay in the moment, stay in the present, that would be really, really helpful, right?
Maybe distribute Bhagavad Gita. I actually gifted 3 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam now for Badri Purnim. So I gave 3. Maybe some Bhagavad Gitas, no?
Yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam is best, but Bhagavad Gita again comes from the lotus lips of the Lord. So absolutely, Bhagavad Gita is a timeless. So typically, so the month of December, typically in Prabhupada's movement, the month of December is when we have a book marathon. People distribute the most, and Bhagavad Gita is, there's a Gita Jayanti also that comes up in that month, right? So people tend to do more that time. It's not like you can distribute Bhagavad Gita anytime. There's no rules and regulations like that. Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita anytime. But I've seen people do more in the month of December with Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anything else? Mataji, I'll pull together some of these links. Food restrictions, do's and don'ts of Kartik month. I've just made some notes here. And also the links to the songs, 5-6 songs that I talked about. Yeah. So I'll prepare this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yes. If there's nothing else, I know we're a bit 14 minutes over time now. So if no further questions, I will wish a very, very happy and blissful Kartik month. Let's start to prepare our consciousness and and move with energy in this month. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavat.
Dandavas Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Prabhu.